everybody, X-Ray LP here with another video. First one I've done in a while, sorry about that. Yeah, I kind of work 50 hours a week, so I don't really have a lot of time to do these. But today I thought I'd do a top 20, a little tier list of a little One Piece tier list. Yeah, I'm not editing this, and it's midnight, so I'm a little tired, a little out of it. I don't care. I'm a small channel, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I'm doing a top 10, a top 20 strongest One Piece characters of all time tier list thing. And, well, this tier list has a whole bunch of characters on it. So I decided to just kind of get a lot of it out of the way and just like already ranked pretty much everybody except the top 20. And so I've got in this reserved spot everyone who might go in there. Wait, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, 19. Who's the strongest of these people? Probably. Okay, some people might assume it's Law, but I think it might be Marco that's the strongest. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, 20. There we go. And there are some characters missing. This list was made, this tier thing was made a long time ago. As you can see, most of the vassals are not like, colored or anything. They're just kind of like still black and white. And there's no Yamato on this list. So yeah, there are probably some characters who should be on here who just aren't. So anyway, I've got these top 20 of all time, which granted I kind of thought I would have more up here. Up first it was going to be top 10, but I've already done a top 10. So I thought that would be a little too easy. And so yeah. And just so we're clear, this obviously isn't a definitive list because there are some characters we just haven't seen exactly where they are. Oh, and if you're looking at all these, none of these are ranked as in like actually in order of like who's the strongest and who's the weakest, And you got these down here that are just fodder. You got these characters who I didn't really know who they were. I'd seen them, they looked familiar, I probably had a general idea, but didn't exactly know who they were. And then, since this is One Piece, you've got a lot of characters where we don't know how strong they are. And if we have, like, little to no examples on how strong they are, they're down here. Like, you're going to see, like, you see all the Blackbeard pirates. And yes, we've gotten a little bit of the Blackbeard pirates, like, in the manga, but, like, 1 or 2 chapters of them. So, yeah, not really enough to go off of. And, you even got Dragon here. We've heard a few things about Dragon, but we haven't even seen him fight yet. Same with Yasop. I'm sure Yasop's ridiculously powerful, but, like, we haven't seen these guys fight yet. And I gotta try to keep headcanon to a minimum. And yes, Rob Lucci's on here, even though most CP9, well, now CP0 is in the unknown. But that's because we saw his fight with Luffy, and that gave us a general idea of where he is. Not a perfect one, but just a general one, more than most people. More than most of the Blackbeard pirates anyway. So yeah, and I gotta try to keep like assumptions to a minimum. Like, for example, Ryuma's on here because of kind of like the hearsay and a couple other things that Oda's gotten that kind of gave us an idea of how strong he is. Which, granted, he probably should be in the unknown, but we have seen him fight a little bit. And so there's more than what we can say about Dragon. So and Oda gave us a little bit of backstory on him. So yeah, we're gonna go by that. But obviously, this is not going to be a definitive ranking. Everyone could show us a little bit more down the line. For example, Shanks and Blackbeard are going to be lower than you think they are. Because, well, yeah, both of them have shown us that they're ridiculously strong. We don't know how strong. So I gotta try to keep headcanon to a minimum, and I gotta try to keep my own personal biases to a minimum. But One Piece is just one of those things where there's gotta be some headcanon, there's gotta be some assumptions made about some characters. So yeah, again, not a definitive list, just who I personally think at this moment right now are the top 20 of all time. That means we're taking characters in their prime. Like, for example, In a recent chapter, Rayleigh said that nowadays, in his old age, he's not beaten Blackbeard, which is definitely going to put Blackbeard higher than I probably would have if he hadn't said that. But that gives us a good idea that in his prime, Blackbeard was probably not quite as strong as he is. More destructive power, but overall, in a one-on-one fight, Rayleigh probably would have won. But he said nowadays he can't possibly beat Blackbeard. But I'm taking a prime Rayleigh, not a nowadays Rayleigh. And yes, going to require reasonable assumptions. But anyway, see, this is why I usually use scripts so I don't ramble on like this. Anyway, let's get on with it. So we've got the top 20 right now. And this might take a little bit. I already know who's generally at the top. You got people like Roger, you got people like Garp, you got people like Whitebeard. Would Sengoku be at the top? I don't really know. I'd say Rayleigh's probably just a little bit below them. You got Kaido. And just so we're clear, I haven't officially ranked them yet. I'm just going by who I generally think is probably closer to the top. Shiki, that might be surprising, but keep in mind, when he attacked Marineford, Garp and Sengoku had to team up in order to beat him. Now, granted, a team up with Garp and Sengoku, yeah, I don't think there's a single person on this list that could, that could win. I mean, obviously, Shanks these days could probably take both of them at this. Well, maybe they'd still put up a good fight. But Prime Garp, Prime Sengoku, yeah, Shanks isn't winning that fight. Roger's not winning that fight. Even Whitebeard's not winning that fight. So anyway, but I'm not officially ranking them yet. I'm just kind of putting them like who I think is closer to the top, and then kind of going from there. Let's see. I'd say Big Mom. Who do I think? Ryuma's probably close to the top. Sengoku. I'd say Sengoku's probably above Big Mom. Maybe not by a lot. Big Mom gets a lot of hate. Probably because she wasn't written very well in Wano. Keep in mind, this is about strength, not just intelligence. So yes, intelligence is her weakness, which is probably why Kid and Law were able to beat her. But in terms of actual power, she's ridiculously high. Marco's probably in last place. Let's see. Yeah, Kainu. Blackbeard. No, Blackbeard might be stronger than Kainu. Akainu's just kind of been sitting in his office, so yeah, Blackbeard might be stronger than him. I generally don't think Blackbeard's nearly as strong as most people think he is. I think that's usually headcanon, and people are like, well, according to the plot, well, Blackbeard doesn't really go by just overwhelming force, he goes by scheming. So yeah, I definitely think he's lower on the list than most people think he is. And I think Kuzan's probably just barely weaker than Akainu, however you pronounce that. Because, well, Sakazuki beat Kuzan. But I definitely think it was just by a little bit. And Sakazuki's not afraid to fight dirty. So he probably didn't win that fight fair and square. Let's see then. Kizaru, I think, is probably next. Then Chitoro, then Ryakugo. And then maybe... I'd say Oden's probably a little bit stronger than Mihawk. I definitely think Shanks deserves to be higher, but we haven't even seen him in an actual fight yet. So, yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's safe to say he's not as strong as, like, these guys at Prime. I think he's not even quite as strong as Kaido. But again, trying to leave headcanon to a minimum. Okay. So now I've got everybody in their general areas. Let's see if there's anybody I want to switch out. You know what? I do think that these three might be stronger than the Admirals. I don't think... Now, Luffy, it might be surprised where Luffy is because, like, a lot of people are like, well, Luffy beat Kaido. Luffy beat Kaido because of the circumstance of the situation. I am not convinced that Luffy is stronger than Kaido. I'm not even convinced he's on his level. He is top 20 strongest of all time. I do believe that. Maybe. Yeah. Oh, and Yamato hasn't been introduced yet. I probably mentioned that earlier, but I can't remember, so that's why you don't see Yamato on here. I think Yamato might just be a little stronger than Marco. Oh, Marco might be stronger. But anyway. Let's see, I think I'm pretty satisfied in the direction of the Admirals. I mean, granted, Fujitora would probably beat Kizaru because, like, gravity can. Because he's going to take the fight more seriously. But I think overall, Kizaru has more power than Fujitora. And Ryakugu, he's ridiculously arrogant. But also ridiculously strong, so I understand why. And I'd say Luffy's just a little bit under the Admirals. You know, I generally don't like these like power levels like Yonko level, Admiral level. Sorry. I generally don't like these levels like Yonko level, First Commander level, and definitely not Warlord level. That one has way too much variation. But Admiral level, these guys, like, if either of these guys, any of these guys went one-on-one with each other, any one of them could probably win. You know, there are definitely some that I would bet on more than others, but I would definitely say these guys would probably win. So anyway, you know what? I do think that both Shanks and Mihawk are. And to be honest, I think Shanks does have more power than Mihawk. Mihawk has been confirmed to be the better swordsman. But Shanks overall, I think, has more overwhelming power. That said, do I think he's stronger than... We know Shanks can go toe-to-toe with Kaido. We know he can. Because Kaido even confirmed it himself. Shanks is one of the few people he knows who can fight him. Now, granted, there were people who were missing from there. Like, you got Sengoku. Like, even Big Mom. Granted, Big Mom was right there in Wano, so Oda probably didn't feel the need to, like, write that in. But you didn't see Blackbeard. Why am I saying that? I don't think Blackbeard can fight Kaido. But, like, you saw Whitebeard, you saw Roger, you saw Shanks, you saw Odin. But there are people like Rayleigh, Garp, Sengoku, maybe Shiki. Again, right? You know what? Actually, I think Shiki probably deserves to be lower on this list. I'd say he's probably stronger than the Admirals, but I don't really know. These are reasonable assumptions. Ryuma, I don't know. According to the story, he chopped a dragon's head off. Odin was able to permanently scar Kaido in his dragon form, which is hugely impressive, but he didn't chop off his head. So I'd say Ryuma's probably more powerful than Odin. But the thing is, like, Sengoku, I think Big Mom's overall more powerful than Sengoku, but Sengoku's far more intelligent. So, yeah. Let's see, actually, you might be wondering, why is Garp above Roger? Because Garp has sent Roger running. He has cornered Roger plenty of times. So yeah, I think... But, let's see. I want to make one thing clear. A battle between any of these guys could go either way. I don't know which one to bet on. But I think overall Garp might be the strongest. Say Rayleigh. Thing is, Rayleigh is a commander, so yeah, it might be controversial to say Rayleigh, even in his prime, is probably stronger than Big Mom at her strongest, but it's just an assumption. Because Big Mom's seen as the level of all these guys, while Rayleigh might just be the slightest step below. Same as Ryuma, same as Odin, same as Shanks. Literally, like, minimal difference between all these people in their primes. Because literally, like, if we were going about, like, who they were in the modern day story, and assuming Kaido's alive, and, well, then, yeah, obviously Kaido. But overall, we're talking about in their primes all around. But again, like, really, when it comes to these people, if any of them were in a fight, it could probably go either way. Granted, Big Mom's the least intelligent and probably the least skilled fighter, but these guys could probably go either way. And you know what, actually? I'm put Rayleigh below Shanks and Odin because, granted, Rayleigh was probably fighting other people anytime that Roger was fighting Kaido. So that's probably why, but I don't know. So anyway, but this has gone on long enough, and uh, I don't think that Mihawk in his prime is is on Rayleigh's level, is on prime Rayleigh's level. I think Mihawk could beat Rayleigh today, but Rayleigh in his prime now, I think that goes to Rayleigh. Barely, but goes to Rayleigh. I don't know. The thing is, that's the crazy thing about people on the top. Like, literally, you take these people, like all these people in the top 10. Actually, I think Owen might be the weakest of the top 10. But you take any of these people, and I have no idea where Ryuma is, so I'm just gonna leave him. You know what? Since we have no idea where Ryuma is, I'm gonna leave him down there, because we just have no idea where he's at. I'm just pretty sure it's safe to say he's stronger than any of these people. And we can delete that. But, yeah. So, yeah, that's personally where I think all these people land. Really, Kaido probably deserves to be in #1 spot, or maybe Whitebeard. But one-on-one always bet on Kaido, but we don't know when that was made. All we know is Kaido is ridiculously strong. But if there are a few guys I say could beat Kaido without all the same situation in which Luffy did, it would be these three. And yes, I think Garp is the strongest One Piece character of all time. Like, granted, if Rocksteady Zebek, and I want to make one thing clear about Rocksteady Zebek, if he was on this tier list, he wouldn't be in the top 20. Because we have no idea where he's at. Yes, he was mentioned when Kaido was talking about people who could fight him. But Kaido was, 19 when Rocks was finally gone? So he was a lot weaker. And keep in mind, Rocks, yes, he was the captain of the Rocks Pirates. He had Kaido, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Shiki, all on his crew. But we don't know why. Keep in mind, Kaido has a code of honor. Big Mom has a very inconsistent code of honor, but a code of honor. And Whitebeard is a very honorable man. So perhaps they lost a bargain and then just had to join his crew. Maybe. That might not be it, because Kaido has been known to go back on his promises, but he may have been different when he was younger. We don't know why Rocks was the captain. We don't know if it's because he was the strongest. We know he's strong, but we have no idea where he's at. Oh, yeah, that's just where everything is. I generally believe that Garp is the strongest One Piece character of all time. At least until we find out, how strong is Emu, how strong was Joy Boy, how strong was Rocksteady Zebek. We just don't know those things yet. So yeah, this is where I personally think everybody is right now. And hey, it may change. Maybe someday it'll be proven that Shanks is the strongest character in One Piece history. Maybe Dragon's the strongest character in the history of One Piece. But we don't know that yet. And yeah, obviously there's some headcanon and some assumptions in here. But by the end of the day, I gotta leave that stuff to a minimum. I can't just say Shanks is the strongest because I like Shanks the most, or I just assume he's the strongest. I can't assume Blackbeard's stronger than Kaido because, it makes sense, Luffy would have to go up against a stronger opponent. Well, Luffy might just be going up against a stronger crew. Keep in mind, the Beast Pirates are definitely a very strong crew, but Luffy's crew surpassed his, and Whitebeard's crew seems to be one that can coordinate pretty well, so maybe that's going to be the issue. Not the fact that Luffy can't beat Blackbeard, but the fact that maybe Zoro and Sanji could probably go up against their tougher guys, but Robin and Frankie and Nami get beats, or Usopp gets beat by Augur, and Chopper gets beat. That's just how it is. And Whitebeard's a crafty bastard. I don't think he's stronger or even as strong as Kaido. I really don't think Kaido, a fight with Blackbeard would be tough for Kaido. It wouldn't be easy, but it wouldn't be ridiculously tough. So yeah, that's where I think everybody is. But that is my list. How would you guys rank it? And I'll show you guys where everybody else is. There's probably going to be like some characters that don't deserve to be some places, some characters that do deserve to be other places. And just like, I'm going to be honest, I got a little lazy with some of these because my main focus was the top 20. But yeah, so where everybody else is, if you guys want to see one more little time, a lot of fodder and a lot of people that we don't know where they're at. And so, yeah. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and